now with 10 News Plus. Go.
This is 10 News Plus. Tonight, a detective's warning 40 years after a crime that shocked the country. How Anita Cobby's killing at the hands of vile strangers left young women everywhere looking over their shoulders.
It would be the greatest travesty of justice of all time if they were, any one of them, were to be released.
Kevin Rudd denies being introduced to Jeffrey Epstein as his name appears in the latest dump of files suggesting a meeting in New York. And how Rebecca Gibney's mum convinced her to take on her most surprising role yet. The beloved actor shows Angela Bishop around the set of her new game show, Millionaire Hot Seat. Thanks for joining us on 10 News Plus. It's great to be with you. If you were alive in 1986, chances are you'll have a vivid memory of a crime that shocked our entire country and changed the way we all think about women's safety. Anita Cobby was a gentle soul, a nurse, simply heading home from her shift when she was snatched off the street by 5 men, vile creatures. Tomorrow marks exactly 4 decades since her murder, and tonight, from the man who brought those animals to justice, a warning.
It was the crime that rocked and angered so many Australians and to the core.
Blacktown nurse Anita Cobby,
And former beauty queen, just 26 years old,
who was sexually assaulted
tortured.
and stabbed before her body was dumped in a paddock at Prospect.
The injuries, her naked body was still lying there on the ground. Her injuries were such that it was apparent straight away that it was just an horrific act.
It's been 40 years since Detective Graham Rosetta was called out to a lonely paddock in Western Sydney, where Anita Cobby was left to die.
It's still there, very, very clear. One of complete and utter terror, fear, and most of all, sadness. The sadness is the thing that sticks in your mind.
Anita was just trying to get home from work. The payphone at Blacktown Station was broken, so instead of calling her dad for a lift, the 26-year-old nurse started to walk. He would never see her alive again. She was grabbed off the street by a group of strangers in a stolen car. It was evil opportunism. She was there, and they could.
5 of them thought that they had the right to snatch Anita off the street and have their way with her and then murder her in such brutal and horrific fashion.
And she's suffering from severe lacerations to the throat.
Her murder followed hours of sexual abuse.
She's got wounds on her fingers where she's grabbed the knife.
To my mind, it was the most horrific investigation that we ever had to do.
A beauty queen, robbed of a bright future, a daughter taken from her family.
I was always so proud whenever I was out with her.
I was almost 21, just before my 21st birthday, and a piece of me went that day.
Her killers were caught within weeks.
We knew what we were looking for and what we were up against. People who just didn't give, for want of a better word, didn't give a damn about the rights of a young lady.
John Travers, Michael Murdoch, and the Murphy brothers, Michael, Gary and Les.
Travers and Murdoch were together, actually in bed together, when we arrested them.
Despite being the youngest, Travers was the ringleader.
Pretty frightening sort of character for a 19-year-old, I can tell you. There was certainly no remorse in John Travers, there never was.
Bastards!
Hide your face. You want to hide it.
Shouldn't hide it, one mongrel! Hang on the bastards!
The public's rage was palpable.
I think the fact that, as I said, you had a thoroughly decent young woman going about her business. She could have been anybody's daughter.
To give you an understanding of how Anita's murder changed things forever, I was born 4 years after she died, and my parents still, to this day, insist on picking me up from the station at night. The fear is still inside generations of women here in Sydney. If it happened to Anita, it could happen to any of us.
Every time a similar case like this happens, the city loses some more of its innocence.
These animals represent pure evil.
All 5 of her killers received life sentences.
Anyone who does a horrific crime like Anita's should remain in jail for the rest of their lives.
Travers tried to escape jail. Murdoch's appeal failed. Michael Murphy died in a hospital prison in 2019.
They thought it was their God-given right to be able to do this. Look, I may be old-fashioned, but I still am a firm believer in the fact that some people are just born bad. And in the case of these 5, I think each one of those 5 fit into that category. It would be the greatest travesty of justice of all time if they were, any one of them, were to be released.
I dedicate this plaque in memory of Anita Lorraine Cobby and to the glory of God, Holy Spirit.
The words on Anita's gravestone reads, "Her light shines forever." And it does, through Grace's Place, a centre helping children impacted by violent crime. Named after Anita's mother, who, along with her father Gary, turned anger into action, setting up hotlines and support groups.
Was something that was denied us at our time of trauma, and many of the friends we have who have become victims were denied this service, which now is available.
I was only a young bloke at the time, but my father was a reporter here on Channel 10. I remember him coming home and being visibly upset over that story, so that is a timely reminder to keep those creatures in jail. Brianna Parkins reporting there. Now, imagine this. You're a victim of crime, the perpetrator is being sentenced in court, and all the lawyers are talking about is that person's good character, going on to read out glowing references in a bid to knock out some of the sentence. Well, now one state at least, New South Wales, is putting an end to the good character debate during sentencing for all crimes, and follows a campaign by 2 blokes who've become mates under the banner "Your reference ain't relevant." And those 2 mates, Harrison and Jared, are with me at the desk tonight. Fellas, thanks for joining us. Gents, you're both survivors of childhood abuse. And I want to ask Harrison this question. What is it like to be in court, to hear glowing references about someone who has just committed a crime?
Well, first of all, thanks for having Jared and I here, Denham. We really appreciate it. And today marks the beginning of the end of the good bloke myth. It's a story that we see over and over again. We're in the media and in headlines, and it gives survivors the idea, and it's the harmful notion that if you commit a violent crime or sexually abuse a child or are violent towards your partner, that you are a good bloke. And it's completely devastating. As a victim survivor, I can speak to it firsthand, to have to sit in that courtroom after you've gone through a rigorous and extensive trial.
Yeah.
And then to have to feel like, you know, you've got the guilty conviction and some sense of justice has been given to you. You've got to come back to sentencing and hear that the person who ruined your life is a pillar of the community or a loving father. And it's just not on.
I've been in some of those court cases and I'm completely standing with you on that. Jared, your campaign, this campaign initially just wanted this change for pedophile cases, but New South Wales went a step further and made it for all cases. What a win.
Yeah, I think it's a huge win. Harry and I were always behind broadening our ask, particularly to other victims of, like we've talked about, domestic violence, sexual violence. But in reading the report from the New South Wales Sentencing Council, which is a brilliant report, and we would really recommend people have a read of that report, we see a lot of ways that there's further avenues for justice in abolishing these for all crimes, and so we're really behind it.
Yeah. So playing devil's advocate here, if a crook has done a lot of good and then done a little bad, shouldn't there be any leeway for him or them?
I I don't think there can be anything that could give you leeway if you've sexually abused a child or raped somebody for that matter. I just don't think there's any space for that. I can't see any space at all.
No, I'm with you on that. So this seems like a pretty obvious move. New South Wales only. What about the other states, and how can we get it to those other states?
Of course, no, we're incredibly excited for that, and we've been meeting with the Attorneys Generals across the nation, apart from Victoria, but we'll get there. And we're incredibly excited to be at the forefront. And as advocates and leaders, people who lead this campaign, we understand that, you know, violent crimes like child sexual abuse and domestic violence, they don't discriminate by state borders, and neither should our efforts to combat it. So we're going to continue to work tirelessly to see this be applied across the country.
Absolutely.
Well, any way that we can help you, you just let us know, because we'd like to stand beside you on this. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you, Denham.
Thanks
we
for having
appreciate
us.
it.
Right, just ahead on 10 News Plus. Former PM Kevin Rudd dragged into the Jeffrey Epstein saga as more documents are released.
By the Australian Government, Canberra.
Conchetta and Cyrell will spend 43 minutes in the Viper Room.
Oh my God.
And Rachel or Matt, who will be the first to go? Next on 10.
Welcome back. The tentacles of Jeffrey Epstein's influence are spreading poison to nearly everyone he came into contact with. But one high-profile Australian is taking issue with his name appearing in the latest dump of documents. Kevin Rudd denies being friends with the sex trafficker and is threatening to sue anyone who says otherwise.
More than 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, 180,000 images. A treasure trove of evidence in the world's most high-profile sex scandal.
They include large quantities of commercial pornography and images that were seized from Epstein's devices. Some of the videos, though, and some of the images do appear to be taken by Mr. Epstein or by others around him.
The last release of documents by the US Department of Justice comes 6 weeks after the legal deadline. Much of it is redacted, but what isn't sheds new light on Jeffrey Epstein's network of rich and powerful allies.
Epstein's reach was phenomenal. I mean, whether it was people like Woody Allen or Bill Clinton, Steve Bannon, Donald Trump, Epstein was at the center of a lot of circles, a lot of concentric circles, and that was the American elite of politics, finance, entertainment, society.
Among those named in the files, our former Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. In January 2014, Epstein emailed former US Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers about a meeting, saying Kevin Rudd will also be on the phone. 6 months later, Epstein touched base with Japanese entrepreneur Joy Ito, mentioning Dr. Rudd might also stop by, former Prime Minister Australia. That same day, an email sent by Epstein to his assistant reads, "Also non-vegetarian food, as now Kevin Rudd is also coming." Epstein's schedule for the day in question shows the meeting set for 4:30 p.m. in New York. But despite the tone of familiarity in the emails, Kevin Rudd denies attending the meeting. No introduction ever took place, and there is no evidence of any direct contact between Jeffrey Epstein and either Dr. Rudd or his office. It's not the first time Kevin Rudd has been linked to the late financier. In 2020, Rudd denied any knowledge of a $650,000 donation Epstein made to the International Peace Institute, which he chaired. From presidents to pop stars, tech titans and royals, Epstein's sphere of influence was enormous. He courted the rich and powerful, many now caught up in the fallout.
There's nothing positive out there, no matter what's in these files. There's no positive point or reaction to being associated with Jeffrey Epstein, and most people run from it like, you know, a vampire when the sun comes up.
More damning evidence too of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's close relationship with the sexual predator, the former prince on all fours crouching over an unidentified woman. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer has now joined calls for him to testify before a US congressional inquiry. The entire process has been shrouded in controversy, delays, redacted details and political fallout.
They say they collected 6 million pages, but they're only releasing 3. What happened to the other 3 million? What's in them?
At the centre of it all, survivors of Epstein's sickening crimes. They say the Department of Justice has failed them, publishing personal details of victims while protecting powerful perpetrators.
There's addresses, there's IDs, there's phone numbers that connect us to now and the future, and that is very dangerous for us who have been speaking, and some of the Jane Doe survivors who have not spoken, and their names are out there, not redacted.
For the victims, there is no end to the trauma.
Some of the women involved were very young, and this has marked their life in ways that they could never have understood. We need to make sure that those in positions of power are not protected from the consequences of their actions.
We did not protect President Trump. We didn't protect or not protect anybody. There's a hunger or a thirst for information that I do not think will be satisfied by the review of these documents. There's nothing I can do about that.
Sam Butler reporting there. Coming up on 10 News Plus, we sit down with Aussie TV legend Rebecca Gibney as she takes over a game show institution.
Rachel and Matt are also terrified.
Who will leave? Who will stay?
The first elimination next on 10.
Thanks for being with us. What on earth would convince one of the country's most beloved actors to become a game show host? Well, as Angela Bishop discovered, Rebecca Gibney found her motivation close to home.
So can you show me around?
Yes, I can. So obviously this is where I enter.
Fancy pants.
I enter here. We have the audience. I go, hello, welcome to Millionaire Hot Seat tonight. 15 correct answers is all that's standing in the way of these 6 contestants and $1 million.
Rebecca Gibney looking right at home in her brave new world. The award-winning actress playing the part of a game show host for the first time. Thank you for having me into your brand new world, your office.
Welcome to my set.
And you are the boss lady. You've got the suit,
no,
you've got the
suit,
tie.
got the tie. Yep.
Tell me, what is this like for you? Have you been having an amazing adventure?
It's an adventure. It's incredible. It's entirely different to anything I've ever done before, and I've got a newfound respect for game show hosts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Millionaire Hot Seat. Light it up. You've got all the power in the world.
Did you sit down and watch anyone else's MO? Did you watch some EPs to get some ideas?
I watched Eddie. Of course I watched Eddie. I watched all the game shows just because I wanted to get a feel for what people do. You know, I've watched Grant, I've watched Larry, I watched them all.
Can you do a come on down?
Come on down. I love Larry. I mean, what was so beautiful is when I was announced, I got messages from everyone from Julia Morris to Grant to Larry, people just reaching out saying if you need any advice or tips. And Grant and I have been messaging recently, actually, because it's been gruelling. And he said, I know how you feel, sister.
And your shows will be side by side?
Yes, they will, which is awesome.
What are those little things?
These things?
Yeah.
They're very important things.
Okay, great.
They're very important
things.
Screens.
Oh, they are too, aren't they? They look very important.
They look like, yeah, no, there's nothing.
Okay.
Lock that in, please, Rebecca.
Lock
That's
in.
not a touch screen, is it?
B, Union Jack! Oh, it's not a touch screen, no.
Okay.
So, did you do some study? Or did you hit the Funk and Wagnalls before you came on board?
No, I tried not to because I thought, well, I can't also pretend to be someone else. I mean, the difference probably with me and a lot of other people, I'm an open book. You know, what you see is what you get.
I just realised that half our viewing audience won't know what a Funk and Wagnalls is and probably thinks I've said something quite rude. But do you remember it was the name of an encyclopedia? No. I
did go.
Remember how you could buy Volume 1 of the world-renowned Funk and Wagnalls new encyclopedia for just 9 cents for spending as little as $10? Well, how about Part 1 of Funk and Wagnalls' 2-part dictionary for free?
Has anyone heard of Funk and Wagnalls? Please help me out here.
What's so much? Oh, an encyclopedic series, right?
It's an encyclopedia. It was books on the shelf.
But is it though? In cricket, what does the term LBW stand for? A, leg break wide. B, line ball wide. C, leg before wicket. D, late bowler warning.
But what about it has brought you unexpected joy.
Giving away money. There is nothing better than giving away money, particularly to hardworking Australians who really need it. And so I've become so emotionally invested.
Please welcome the newest member of the TV Week Logie Awards Hall of Fame, my mum, Rebecca Gibney.
When Rebecca was inducted into the Logies Hall of Fame 2 years ago, it was a reminder of just what a huge impact she's had on audiences through so many incredible roles.
We could do something much worse. I didn't think I'd be looking after a toddler again. Not that I'd change it for the world, of course. Inquest is going to kill me.
But this gig was out of her comfort zone, and it was her beloved mum Shirley, famous to anyone who follows Rebecca on social media, who convinced her to say yes.
So when I said I wasn't sure whether I should do it, it was Mum Shirley who said, darling, this is your opportunity to give back to the public that have supported you for so many years. It's now your opportunity to give back to them and be a conduit to them winning life-changing amounts of money, and what a privilege that is. And I was like, yeah, it really is.
Did you ring her and say, on the money, Mum?
Yeah, I did. She can't wait to watch it. I think she thinks that my 45 years in the business has all culminated and led me to this point. The answer was C, encyclopedia. Unfortunately, you got that wrong. Did you have fun, though?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Storming out.
It's not that way. That way.
I'm storming out. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Miss you already.
Right. So grab your Funkin' Wagnalls dictionary and join Millionaire Hot Seat. It starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. So here's a look at the special program we have in store for you tomorrow.
It's far worse than we ever thought.
Parents using cell phones with their kids has been compared to secondhand smoke.
The scans that prove screen time could be giving our kids brain damage.
What is their behaviour like? It's worse than a drug addict.
The shocking truth.
Don't drop that rope.
Yes, sir. And what to do about it.
You stand behind your chairs, you won't speak.
Yes, sir.
A 10 News Plus special report.
I just can't stop looking at the device.
Tomorrow.
And that's 10 News Plus for this Sunday. I'm a Celebrity. Get Me Out of Here is next. Thanks for your company. Good night.